Today, we are diving into a whole new way to think about purpose, especially for those times when you feel, completely and utterly stuck. So let's get right into it. It's a feeling we all get, right? That sense of just being in neutral. You can't see the next step, and you're wondering, what on earth am I supposed to do next? But what if that feeling isn't actually what you think it is? Now, this is a total reframe of the problem, and honestly, it changes everything. The feeling of being stuck isn't about being trapped in the now, it's about being anchored to a past version of you that you haven't let go of yet. Okay, so let's really unpack that. This first part is all about understanding that the real block isn't some lack of future options. No, it's an attachment to an identity, an idea, or even a life that just, well, it doesn't exist anymore. What's so interesting here is the active language. You're being held back because you are holding on. I mean, think about it. Maybe your kids have gone off to college, but you're still living like the house is full. Or you've gone through a breakup, but you're still surrounded by all the old photos and memories. See? Reality has moved forward, but a part of you is still back there. This really hits the nail on the head. Being stuck is so often a choice, even if it's a totally unconscious one. It's the act of clinging to something, an old job title, a past relationship, a former reputation, that literally prevents you from moving forward. Momentum doesn't come from knowing where you're going. It comes from letting go of where you've been. Which, of course, brings us to our next big idea. If holding on is the problem, well, the solution is learning how to let go. This is all about consciously releasing that identity that's keeping you in place. These examples are so powerful. We get trapped by a single label all the time. We think, oh, I'm a teacher, so I can't be a social media creator. Or I'm a mom, so there's no way I can start an online business. We get so worried about what our friends and family will think. But the truth is, you can be two things at once. In fact, that combination, that's your superpower. And here's the most important part. You don't need anyone else to approve or understand. This shift is 100% internal. It's all about giving yourself permission to evolve and embrace a new, bigger identity. So once you've started to let go of the past, you create space for a more meaningful future. But how do you actually build that? Thankfully, there's a really simple formula we can use. Okay, the first ingredient is passion. And listen, this isn't some huge, unattainable thing. It's just the stuff that naturally energizes you. Maybe it's organizing trips for your friends. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it's just digging in and learning something new. What are the small things that just bring you joy? And the second ingredient is service. This is where you take that passion, that thing that lights you up, and you use it to help someone else out. It's about turning your own personal joy into a contribution to others. And there it is, the formula. Passion plus service equals purpose. It is genuinely that straightforward. If your passion is photography and you use that to capture memories for a family, that's purpose. It's not about the scale, it's about the service. This quote just perfectly captures this idea of job crafting. There was a famous study of hospital cleaners, right? They didn't see themselves as just cleaners. No way. They saw themselves as healers because they believed a clean hospital was absolutely essential for a patient's recovery. Same job, same pay, but a completely different experience just because they changed how they saw their own contribution. And this is so important to remember. Finding your purpose isn't about quitting your job to go save the world. It can be found in the smallest, most simple ways, and it can be totally separate from your career. It's about taking something that energizes you and using it to help another person. That's it. That's the whole game. Now let's be real. As you start down this path, you're going to run headfirst into a classic roadblock, comparing yourself to other people. So this next section gives us a really powerful mindset shift to turn that poison into fuel. It's such a natural human reaction, isn't it? You see someone who has what you want, and that immediate feeling can be jealousy. You think, ugh, they're already doing it, so I can't. It's a really disempowering mindset that just keeps you right where you are. But what if you just made one tiny switch? Instead of envying them, you study them. You can turn that feeling of jealousy into a signpost. It's literally pointing directly at something you desire. So how did they get there? What can you learn from their journey? All of a sudden, that person isn't a rival anymore. They're a teacher. So take a second and really think about this. Who in your life, or maybe in your field, triggers that little twinge of envy? Now, what would happen if you reframed them as a potential mentor? What's just one thing you could learn from them, like today? All right, for our final section, let's get super practical. This is a framework to help you diagnose your exact situation right now so you know exactly what your very next step should be. First, ask yourself, does life feel like a school right now? Are you facing the same challenge over and over and over again? The same type of difficult boss? The same kind of issue in your relationships? If so, life is trying to teach you something. Your job isn't to escape it. It's to learn the lesson. Or maybe life feels more like a hospital. Are you in pain? Are you feeling held back by old wounds or insecurities? If you feel like you're just not strong enough to move forward, then your number one focus has to be on healing. But hey, maybe things are actually going pretty well. If you're in a good phase, life might feel like a movie. In that case, your goal isn't to rush ahead to the next thing. It's to be present. Soak it all in. Immerse yourself in the good times and really experience this chapter before it's over. And finally, maybe you're on a clear path. You're actively building something great. If that's you, then life feels like a mountain. Your focus here is on building skills. What do you need to learn to climb higher and more effectively? So is it a school, a hospital, a movie, or a mountain? Where are you right now? Once you have that clarity, the fog really starts to lift. You see, you're not stuck. You just needed to identify your starting point. So what's your first step?